Order for Tuesday, September 23rd. If you would, all please rise for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here today safely. Please guide us in the decisions that we are about to make for all of Horry County. And please look over and after all county employees as they go about their jobs today. In your name we pray. Amen. Attention to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to public input. We do not have any today. So moving on to the review and approval of the agenda contents. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to the approval of minutes for the July 22nd, 2025 meeting.
Second.
All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to new business, financial update for July and August 2025. Ms. Miller.
Good afternoon. So we're in a brand new fiscal year. We'll bring you an update on FY25 at the fall planning retreat. Your July financials are in your packet, so I'm just going to go through August. So looking at revenues across all funds, we've received $22.9 million. 66.7% of this is in the general fund. Looking at expenditures across all funds, we're at $49.9 million with almost 80% of expenditures in the general fund. Based on the percentages for our annualized budget, we expect to be around the 17% mark for this point in the year for revenues and expenditures. For general fund revenues, we are at $15.3 million, which is 5.3% of our annual budget. This is due to the fact that most of our revenues will come in the December-January timeframe when property taxes are collected. Our expenditures are at $39.8 million, which is 14% of the budgeted amount. General fund total actual revenues are 5.2% higher than prior year, and general fund total actual expenditures are 2.5% higher than prior year. So looking at general fund revenues a little more closely, all categories are performing as expected. Property taxes will pick up again in that December-January timeframe when those payments are due, and interest is performing slightly better than expected for this point in the year. Looking at expenditures in the general fund, most categories are performing as we expect for this point in the fiscal year. Contractual services are slightly above where we expect due to a lot of our service contracts being renewed at the beginning of the year. Looking at special revenue funds, the fire fund has a net change in fund balance of $4.2 million. Revenues will start to come in that December-January timeframe. Road maintenance fund has a net change in fund balance of $3.2 million, with both revenues and expenditures performing as expected. And the beach renourishment fund has a slight change in net fund balance of $240,000, with very few expenditures at this point in the fiscal year. Continuing special revenue funds, stormwater fund has a net change in fund balance of $723,000. Recreation fund has a net change in fund balance of $587,000. Waste management recycling has a net change in fund balance of $434,000. All these funds are performing as expected, and again, we'll see those revenues increase in the December-January timeframe.
Any questions from the committee?
One question. Does that reflect the impact fees on waste management and recreation?
Please proceed.
EMS, right. So writing off uncollected EMS charges is a necessary step to ensure accurate financial reporting and adherence to accounting standards. We will be adjusting our receivables for accounts that are more than 3 years old. So we're looking at the time frame on or before June 30th of 2022. The amount we are writing off is $5,927,169. We will, however, continue the collection process, and as you can see from the memo, we collected an additional $816,423 from the previous set-off day.
Any questions from the committee? You could just have staff email out a breakdown of EMS write-offs
Okay.
year-to-date, annualized, for the last 5 or 6 years. Last year was around $5 million, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yes, sir, it's 5.2 million, and it's a similar percent as it was last year. I think the total billings were higher each year as we're moving forward.
Okay.
So it becomes a larger amount, but similar percentage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Todd, financial reporting update.
Well, my
Award.
Award is my honor to share with you all today that Horry County has received for the 38th consecutive year Excellence in Reporting Award for this book and everything inside of it. This is very much a group effort across all departments, but would like to specifically thank our finance department, Jamie Norman and Jacob Mitchell, our grants department, Beth and her team, and our airport finance department.
Great job. Wonderful. Moving on to action items relating to the budget, a resolution to approve Horry County's application to the South Carolina Opioid Recovery Fund Board, Guaranteed Political Subdivision Subfund, and to accept the grant if awarded and to appropriate opioid settlement funds for the continuation of programs in calendar year 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. We greatly appreciate your entertaining our application for calendar year 26 opioid applications. Many of the applications that you've been considering over the last year were prorated applications because we're now trying to get all of our 11 awards now that these programs have been built out on an annual schedule so we can do them to the extent possible as part of one grant. And so this application is going to support our ongoing efforts at JRL and their recovery programs, Next Step, for female inmates. There was already one for male inmates. Treatment court expansion and wraparound services for the solicitor's office, the crisis intervention team in the police department, and also harm reduction in fire rescue. And we just received another award for that for 1 quarter earlier this week. So this would actually fund all of those programs for calendar year 26. You do have an amended resolution for your review and approval, and that is because the City of Conway and the City of North Myrtle Beach are each providing funds from their guaranteed political sub-funds to cover the services that they receive from both harm reduction and from our crisis intervention teams of the police department. And that's $277,743.86 for the City of Conway, and $610,833 from the City of North Myrtle Beach. Thank you.
Are those services provided to all municipalities?
Yes,
Is there a reason why the other municipalities are not participating in this?
because they do not receive guaranteed political sub-funds, with the exception of the City of Myrtle Beach, which already has its own program, and we coordinate those services with them.
Okay.
So it's really only 4 jurisdictions within Horry County that do receive those funds.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to approve the original resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Entertain a motion to amend it with the amendment in front of you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next resolution, approving the planning and design of excess property owned by Horry County for possible conveyance to the Horry County Community Land Trust.
Thank you so much. The Horry County Community Land Trust continues to work to address workforce housing in Horry County. If you will recall, County Council approved a 3-year set-aside in budget in partial support of the infrastructure that was needed for that community land trust, basically operations. And the board has also now completed its submittal of 501c3 documentation for the community land trust. So we're moving forward. The county has identified a possible initial project for the land trust, And it really intersects with another project that was approved earlier on by council. You'll recall during the receipt of ARPA funds and the approval of those projects, County Council approved acquisition of 72.73 acres of land for the VA nursing facility out Old Altman Road in Conway. And that's really our local match for a future facility that would be planned for that location. And the VA has shown interest in using any unneeded but buildable land within that parcel for residential development. This resolution before you today would authorize the county administrator to request approval from the state to subdivide the excess property from the parcel desired for the VA nursing facility, to rezone for this purpose if necessary, and then the CLT, the Community Land Trust, would go in and master plan that area so we can potentially have our first project. And I have two members of the board of the CLT here, Mr. DeSabato and Mr. Spivey. Do you have anything to add to that?
I think it would be a great opportunity to have a rural or residential setting around that facility. That's what the state desired. And I think it's in a perfect location for commuting to work in that regard. And I think it would be a great addition if we would make a or consider that contribution.
Any questions from the committee? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving on to a resolution honoring the Premier School of Dance's 2025 competition team. Mr. Jordan.
You can do it. You want me to do it? Yeah, go ahead. I'll do it at the meeting.
Get some practice in right now.
I don't need any practice speaking in front of people, but all good.
These attorneys.
We try. Before you is a resolution honoring the Premier School of Dance competition team from 2025. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's in your packet. However, they've had a very successful year, going all over the state and Southeast competitions, and have performed at their peak.
Unlike the Chants, they actually won the national title this year.
Wow. So I'm no longer a football fan. I'm a dance team fan.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to the Community Benefit Fund requests.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Carroll.
Chairman. We've got quite a few here today. If everybody will bear with me, we'll get through them. The first one is for the North Myrtle Beach Women's Club. Funds will be used for their annual What a Difference a Mile Makes fundraiser. It's going to be $2,500 from District 1. The next one is for Beautify Carolina Forests. Funds will be used for mowing and maintaining the medians, $3,000 from District 3. Then we have Aner High Varsity Football Team. Funds will be used to purchase equipment upgrades for the teams, $2,500 from District 11. Aner High FFA. Funds will be used to support club activities, $1,000 from District 11. Aner High Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Funds will be used to support their club activities as well, $1,000 from District 11. The Myrtle Beach Corvette Club. Funds will be donated to local nonprofit organizations in Horry County. It's coming from District 6, and it's $1,000. Carolina Forest Community Church. Funds will be used for maintenance of their fields, which are used in their sports ministry program, $5,000 from District 3. Habitat for Humanity of Horry County. Funds will be used to help cover a portion of the special tax district fees for the 4 Habitat for Humanity's homes in the Eagle Trace subdivision. It's $4,000 from District 8. Blue Star Mothers of Coastal Carolina. Funds will be helped with their postage expenses for their hero boxes they send out to deployed military. It's $2,500 total from Districts 1, 6, 11, and the chairman. Hopeful Restoration Group, or DBA Spokes of Hope. Funds will be used to help with their annual Christmas gift giveaway to children in need, $3,500 in combinations from Districts 1, 3, 6, and 9. Horry County Police Department. Funds will be used to help with their Shop with a Cop event and their youth fishing rodeo, and also help with award ceremonies and parades throughout the year. They'll be getting $11,000 total from Districts 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the chairman. The next one is for Horry County Behavioral Services. Funds will be used to purchase Project Lifesaver bracelets for individuals with cognitive disorders,
$5,000 in combinations for Districts 1, 9, 11, and the chairman. I believe our final one today is for Journey Church of Myrtle Beach. Funds will be used to help host their free community event called Rock the Block. $5,000 in combinations for Districts 3, 4, 6, 8, and the chairman. Any issues?
Motion to approve. All in favor, aye. Ayes have it. Moving on to action items.
I think Danny wanted to be on the bracelets for the
Horry County Behavioral Services?
payment service.
Okay. How much you want to do? 1,000. Okay. Anything else? Everybody good?
Moving on to a resolution supporting the future Interstate Highway Formula Program. Ms. Todd.
Yes, this resolution before you today supports the creation of a new federal funding formula in the upcoming Surface Transportation Bill, and this is to expand interstate access in areas that need support for economic development and tourism. There is currently no dedicated federal funding to plan and construct future interstate highways, so this resolution simply ensures that communities like ours are part of that federal conversation.
Any questions from the committee? Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to a resolution approving the Waccamaw Regional Transit Authority's fiscal year 2026 budget and authorizing the county administrator to release the October and future payments for fiscal year 2026. Welcome.
Wow, you guys are going fast today. I'll try to be the same. Appreciate the opportunity to come and present our FY26 budget, which commences on October 1st. We use the federal fiscal year, so we're October to September. Part of that is a new compensation plan for our internal labor pool, and that's lots of reasons to do a new compensation plan. The last one was done in 2021, and it's not the least of which would be it's a requirement of our funding agreement with Horry County. I think the biggest thing for me on this list is that we do have pretty high turnover. In our driver ranks, we had about 30% turnover in FY24 or in calendar year 24. That means I'm putting a lot of inexperienced operators out on the road and spending a lot of time on and money on training and onboarding people. So for us, we feel like increases in wage rates, especially in that category, are going to be really important for us to move forward. Obviously, I won't go through all of these. We did do comparison to Horry County, the school systems, Grand Strand, water and sewer. And really 3 categories kind of came out where we needed to kind of pump up our game a little bit. That's mechanics, road supervisors, and drivers. And so those amounts that you see in the center column there are new entry-level rates, and obviously the largest increases were for those 3 categories. That will adjust our salary ranges for the next 3 years to those middle columns. It represents about 4% annual growth in wages over the next every year for the next 3 years, which is a little higher than the CPI, but obviously it includes some corrections for especially those 3 categories, which do represent about 60% of our employment. I'd like to show you kind of how that rolls into the budget, but first I wanted to spend a little bit of time on the Ride 4 funding, which represents a really new world for us. We're incredibly grateful. I can't say that enough. But I thought it was important to show you all kind of how those funds roll into our program. First and foremost, they're replacing funds that we got from Horry County and constituent municipalities within Horry County of about a little under $3 million. Going into FY25, we had about an $800,000 service cut planned had Ride 4 not been successful. We never did make that cut, and so we still got to cover those. We want to kind of wean ourselves off of using federal funds. Right now, we've been utilizing this year's formula funds in this year's funding, in this year's budget. We want to get it back to where we can use this year's allocation next year, so we know how much we had and we're not burning up those funds too quickly. We do plan some service increases. We've got some work to do on paying down operating loan debt, but hopefully where the plan is next June to kick in some additional services, so that $400,000 is a quarter's worth of additional service. It represents about three buses going into service during peak time, so it's actually a pretty healthy increase. We've got a lot of deferred capital, not the least of which is our building, which we're still working on, but that's obviously the new funding is going to help us. And we have an O&M reserve. We've always had an O&M reserve requirement. That reserve is moving from 5% to basically 2 months worth of operating, 16%. And those two amounts, I believe, get us close to the 16% by the end of FY27. So that would be compliant with the funding agreement. And then we still have a little bit of money left over. And you know, obviously rainy days and you know, we have capital expenditures come up from time to time, so that'll put us in a much more healthy position. Some considerations: we still have quite a bit of work on looking for other funding sources. We're not going to stop doing that. Really working on SCDOT to increase the amount of investment in state funds to transit. Georgetown County, haven't really gone after them too much over the last couple of years, but we will. There are some service increases down there that we're contemplating, and obviously we would expect them to help us pay for that. And we have a few ideas from a human service standpoint, working with senior resources to transport seniors in certain areas and coordinating our services with them is just an example of that. Still need to build a facility. We're close to negotiating a final price on our property down in Grissom Parkway. And we should hear this week on our new grant application to hopefully build both the transit center down there as well as a new maintenance facility. And given the roof leak that we're dealing with right now here in Conway, it won't come a day too soon for that new building. And honestly, you know, we're going to go through another federal budgeting process and reauthorization, and we don't know how that's going to happen. So we've got to prepare ourselves for whatever comes out of that down the road. Labor expense assumptions, we're looking at spending a little over, or about $1.15 million in additional labor costs. Here I've broken it out by department. And so each of those increases incorporate the compensation plan adjustments. And then everything else is there's a few additional staff that we're looking for, and that service increase. We're putting about 15,000 more revenue hours into service over next year. And you know, I think that's probably one of my biggest concerns is that with the advent of Ride 4, you know, while we want to take our time, I don't want to get too much pressure from external forces on, you know, why haven't you grown more? We want to do it smartly and make sure that we're good to go, you know, for the long term. This is a slide is mistitled. This is a system-wide total budget comparison between FY25 revised and our FY26 budget. We're contemplating about a $1.6 million increase in total expense. I did want to make the point that we are very lean from an admin perspective. I have the same regulations that I have to satisfy with FTA that MORTA does in Atlanta, and we do it with 6 people. And there are things that are falling through the cracks, so I do need a little bit of assistance at the admin level, so we do have that incorporated into these expenses. Thinking fuel is going to stay fairly unchanged. We are putting more service in there, but that should be offset by 4 buses. 4 new buses that should operate or should arrive in March of next year. They go into production in late January. There will be much needed buses. I don't know if those of you remember 10 years ago I brought 10 buses from Dallas. Those final 4 are leaving the yard, going to the great bus depot in the sky. So we'll be glad to see them go, but they served us well, for sure. Big increase, we use the insurance reserve fund, that's a huge increase, 33% in auto liability, which is a big number that we had to, and then we've got some money in there for additional van pool, which I do think is the way of the future for us in terms of getting people to work. So we're proposing about 11.1 million in expense. We've identified about 12.6 million in revenues. Obviously, that gives us a little bit of a surplus. It was actually a really fun budget to do this year, which is nice. Thank you for that. Just wanted to, down on the bottom, the revenues, you can see the road use fees going away, sales tax kicking in, which is obviously a much bigger number. So it was a much needed increase in local funding. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee? Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve. All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to our last action item, a resolution to temporarily relieve the strict enforcement of a certain provision of South Carolina Code Section 1243-220 as it relates to the filing deadline for agricultural exemptions for county property assessment purposes. Mr. Graves, if you would, please come up. Welcome.
Thank you. Title 12 of the South Carolina Tax Code deals with taxes, and it allows for special certifications, classifications and ratios for real property. These are available upon application. Most commonly, you see the 4% or 6% ratios. But within the agricultural classification, there's a provision that allows for the deadline for such applications to be extended upon a showing of reasonable cause. Before you is a letter from a taxpayer applicant who is requesting that she be found to have a reasonable cause for the deadline to be extended. If you should find that that reasonable cause is contained in the letter provided, then a vote to approve this resolution would permit the assessor to process the application.
So my only question is just, as it relates to this, is a procedural one. I don't think I've ever seen one of these.
You have not?
County Council, since I've been on County Council.
No, sir.
So does it not go to the assessment appeals, or?
No, it does not. So it's actually codified. To be able to do that, the Department of Revenue recommended that to this taxpayer.
To come to County Council?
Yes, sir. And that is codified.
Understood. Any questions from Mr. Graves? Mr. Jordan? Entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye. The ayes have it. Moving on to any new and old business. There is none. I assume there's not an executive session today. Our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for October the 28th. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, aye. We are adjourned.